This is fun because I am not where I usually am. So this is going to be amazing. Okay. So welcome to the live, and I'm a couple minutes late, but that's because I am not where I'm supposed to be. No, I am where I'm supposed to be. I'm just in a different spot. I am at my son's apartment. Hence, you can see everything that's around. So, hopefully, you can hear me and all is well in the world. But I wanted to make sure that I still came here to talk to you guys a little bit because I have something really important to talk about tonight. And hi, Sarah Ann. That's awesome. It's great to see you. So, I wanted to talk a little bit today about what's our focus. Yesterday, if anybody watched when Miller and I were talking, we talked a lot about awareness, and then we talked about boundaries. And then, of course, we really want to make sure that we're putting our choices and taking those into effect. But really, the boundaries and the awareness were huge last night, and we were talking a lot about that. So I really thought a good one today to kind of follow up with is what's the focus. So when we start to think about our focus, I think often we get very confused and distracted. So let's move into, speaking of distracted, let's make sure I can get this all done right. Let's talk a little bit about our strategies for success. And I have to do my fun legal disclaimer, which again, this is just for educational purposes and coaching only. We are just talking it out, trying to encourage you guys to move forward and try different things. This is not a substitute for therapy, counseling, or medical advice. If you need any of that, I can help you with that, or you can find local practitioners in your area. But either way, we want to make sure you get the help that you do need. And this is all about solutions, where we take you from problems to possibilities to solutions. That's what tonight is all about. So, again, we're going to chat about your focus. And sometimes that's kind of an oxymoron because we tend to get very overwhelmed and we try to focus on multiple things, but really that's not how things work. The best thing for you to do is to get centered and get focused, because when you focus your energy intentionally, that's when you're going to see growth. So we have to remember that it's direction over perfection. Which way are we going? We want to kind of keep our blinders on and make sure we're heading where we want to be. And then what you're focused on determines where your energy goes. And I think all too often we fall into the trap of thinking that we can just do it all and do more. But that's not what tonight's about. We just really want to look at how we can change our awareness and center our thinking, which will help us long term. It's going to help us emotionally, it's going to help us be more productive, and it can help our relationships and improve those as well. Okay, so when we try to focus on everything, that's where we get that increased anxiety, mental fatigue, difficulty completing tasks, emotional overload, and that feeling of stuck. So we're not focusing, we're completely distracted. And that's when we try to divide our attention. We're also dividing our energy. So many times I know schools talk about pouring from an empty cup or a full cup. So we want to make sure that we're pouring from that full cup, or at least have something in the cup. Because all too often we try to pour and pour and pour, and then we're left with nothing. Or think of it like this: when you have mental tabs open, multiple, and as teachers, I know I work really closely with a lot of teachers. With teachers, multitasking has become the new norm. And we're going to talk about the impacts of multitasking in a minute. But for anybody, if we're trying to do so many different things, we're just doing that. We're trying. We're not getting it all done. We're trying a little here, trying a little there, trying a little there, and our attention is completely divided out. And that doesn't lead to healthy emotions. It doesn't lead to productivity. it really can drain us and help us get into that posture of feeling stuck. So think of it like this, and I want you to honestly answer this if you can. Are you the type of person that might watch TV and you start scrolling on your phone? I know I'm guilty. Or maybe you pick up your phone and check your notifications every few minutes. Maybe you're replaying old conversations in your mind. I am working on the notifications one. I have even created a it's like a focus. It's called Focus on my phone, and it's my work focus. And so from 8 to 3 every day, my notifications are silenced. Not for I don't get any email notifications, nothing from social media, because I was checking my phone constantly and it was taking me away from the students that I work with. So I had to create that boundary for me that allowed me to be calmer because I was constantly checking that phone. And did you know there's actually a setting in your phone that you can check how many times you pick it up a day? And I was over 400 and something. So, anyways, that's not that great. So, I just want to be able to say that notice what your distractions are, and that will help you. Hey, Pittsburgh Pirate, glad to see you're here. That's awesome. And yes, my brother doesn't own a TV either, which I think is fascinating. I applaud you guys. But like I said last night, I totally need my Vampire Diaries when I come home. It helps me to relax. So, yeah, so I need my TV, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm going to work on those distractions. I jumped ahead too quick. So, just because something gets your attention doesn't mean it deserves your focus. So, tonight we're going to really kind of think about what is your biggest distractor, and let's make sure we're not giving that our full attention and our focus. So, what distracts you the most right now? Is it social media, stress, overthinking, other people's opinions, your own thoughts? What is it? Because that is where you need to start so that you can figure out where it is that you'd like to go. Like I mentioned earlier, my biggest thing was notifications. In fact, I used to have Life 360. Then I heard that they sold their information to insurance companies, which I think is nuts. But what happened was I was almost anxious constantly about where my kids were. They're 25 and 21. And I saw, what is it, Gary V on TikTok. And he said, if you are still tracking your kids at 25 and 21, like stop. And he was right, because those notifications, although designed to be helpful, were actually detrimental. I was constantly checking my phone, worried where they were, etc. So I had to take that out. But when you look at this list, social media, stress, overthinking, other people's opinions, your own thoughts, notifications, what do you think is distracting you right now? And keep that in your mind, because that's what we need to figure out. Because again, awareness is that first step, because there's a neurological impact that happens when our focus is non-existent. So when we're distracted and we look at this, this is perfect. Multitasking actually reduces productivity. There's about 2 to 3% of the population that are true multitaskers. Everybody else who claims they are, you're not. Sorry to say it. Research shows it over and over and over and over again, because what happens is we become distracted. Our energy is being put into way too many different places, and we're unable to complete the tasks either as well as we can, as efficiently as we can, or even that we even get it done, period. So a distracted brain is often, it's a dysregulated nervous system. So we're out of sorts and we're out of balance, but we keep thinking I can do more, I can pull it together, those kinds of things, but we just can't. It's it's shown, unfortunately, and I'm sorry. But we don't want that overstimulated nervous system, because then it gets into all the neurological things like looking at cortisol, that stress hormone. we become very fragmented in our connections with others. Our brain actually expends too much energy switching from thing to thing to thing, and then we feel drained quicker. So and we become a lot more reactive uh, instead of responding to things. So we want tonight, just your strategy and helpful tip is think about it this way. You see the flashlight there, and you see that one beam of light, and then you see the disco ball. Now, I'm not saying don't be a shiny disco ball because, hey, shiny disco balls are tons of fun and they're awesome. But when we look at this illustration, we want to become more like flashlights. Let's be focused. When we look at the disco ball, although so fun, but the light is fragmented and it's everywhere. So tonight, think of the one thing that you can shine your flashlight on. So where your attention goes, that's where your energy flows. So if we can stay honed in to that one thing, that's where you can start to see that growth. That's when you can start to see the difference in what's going on. So let's pull that together and see tonight if you can figure out one place that you would like to be focused. All right, so our intentional focus helps to protect our peace, reduce that unnecessary emotional noise, and then we're less reactive to chaos. It actually calms your nervous system. And whether you're a teacher, a nurse, a parent, a 14-year-old, when you're everywhere and your brain's everywhere, you're not centered and you're unable to complete the tasks that get you to where you want to be. So we really need to be intentional and purposeful when it comes to our focus. And it's it's actually easy to do because your brain wants to be focused and we want those emotions to be in check so that we can get the things done and establish the connections to others that we want and we want to move forward. So oh, that's a good time. Yeah, let's see. The disco ball is fun. So what actually matters today? So when we look at everything and we put it all together, what matters to you today? Do you have a bunch of distractions going on? Is it a goal that you have, but sometimes there's a lot more noise? I know last night, again, we talk a lot to teachers, and the end of the school year is coming. And we can get very distracted by all the things pulling at us and the things like testing and closing out the end of the year and um, grades and just everything that can pull you in a bunch of different directions, which can lead to irritability, emotional changes. It's that reaction rather than a response. So let's look at what is impacting you today. And so we want you to identify one thing and then one emotional goal, because we want to keep ourselves centered, and then one thing that you can complete, something doable. Too often when when we say we need to get focused, we get focused on like 15 things. We need to focus on one thing. So if we look at this, like today, my focus is peace. Today, my focus is finishing one task. And today, my focus is being present. So if you look at my priority, my emotional goal, and then one thing I can complete. So funny enough, so today, that was my goal was definitely peace. My finished task was throwing all this together so I could go live tonight and being present. I got to have breakfast with one of my dearest friends. And instead of worrying about what was coming next and what time I was going to get to the theme park or what was happening when, I made a very intentional decision that I was going to be present with her and focused with her. And I turned off my notifications on my phone because we know that when you're sitting there having breakfast, that phone can just start going. So that was a very purposeful thing. Again, let's get focused. Let's become flashlights. We can have disco balls at other times, but let's become flashlights, especially if there's somewhere that you want to grow that you know about right now. Or maybe it's a goal that you want to look forward to. Oh, that's great because I did it twice. That's how important it is. So, anyways, so again, tonight, what's your focus? I say quite often to the kids that I work with, WTF. And they're like, excuse me? And I'm like, what's the focus? So they too get very dysregulated and distracted by all the things clamoring for their attention. So when they're with me, I really want them to calm their brain, quiet their brain, and get focused so that we can come up with goals together and strategize to get them where they need to be. So tonight, here's your awareness question. What's one thing you can focus on? And you can take anything. If we bounce back real quick, you can take anything from this. Maybe it's just one priority. Maybe you need to make that phone call so that you can schedule your physical or your doctor's appointments or whatever that might be. Or maybe it's an emotional goal. Maybe you need to practice some meditation or go for a walk just to kind of calm your mind. Or one thing that you just need to complete. I don't know about you, but laundry tends to be my one task that tends to pile up. So maybe it's taking care of that. So whatever it is, whatever matters to you today, focus on that one thing and get her done. So there's free resources. You can check those out if you scan there. That's the store that I have with the different downloadables. They're free. Then you can also, I used to say 15 minutes. It always goes at least 30 minutes. It's an encouragement call. It's free to see what's going on in your life, how I can help and encourage and maybe give you something that's a little more specific for strategies that would benefit you. And you can always join me here Mondays at 7 or Sunday nights. I join Miller a bunch of times just to have teacher talk and encourage you to keep teaching. But for here, these are strategies for success because it's all about solutions. And we want you to be able to move forward because solutions start here. And I need to jump over to this chat. I want to thank you guys so much. It was exciting to see new people like Sarah Ann and Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm not a baseball fan, so I'm like team whatever when it comes to baseball. But I like how, yes, definitely we can only focus at one thing at a time. Yes, my Vampire Diaries, that's my guilty pleasure. And that's another good strategy too, is having your phone on silent and putting it in a different room. That's huge. So often I even work with students and we talk about homework time, which that's a great thing because so many of them don't even do it. But I really work with them on establishing where they get their homework done and what to do about those distractions. Yeah, I could be a Pirates fan. Actually, funny enough, my cousin is Chad Pender, and he used to play for the Oakland A's, but now he's coaching, I can't remember, somewhere in the minors. I don't know. If my daughter was on here, she would tell you, but I don't think she's on. So, but yes, so I guess wherever he is, then that's my team, I guess. Yes, thank you, Aunt Cheryl. WTF has a whole new meaning, and my kids laugh at me, but that is definitely something. What's the focus? And I want everybody on here to figure out what you'd love to focus on and get that done and focus. And it might even be your focus might be just to have a relaxing evening. Awesome. Reduce those distractions and do just that. Make sure you have an awesome night. So again, thank you guys so much. And I'll probably see you on Sunday with Miller. I don't know. We haven't even talked about it yet. Oh, but it's a long weekend. Who knows? All right. So thanks again for stopping in. I really appreciate it. And everybody have a great night. Thank you. Ah,